We're talking Phillies sports.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
And New York sports.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
And the unique history and relationship between the two cities. With Mike Carr.
You're so money and you don't even know it.
And Adam Turkel.
I agree. Nobody's madder about than I am. They're going to say that, and I'm going to look at them and say, "Hi, you're right."
This is the Battle for I-95 podcast, starting now.
All right, welcome to the Battle for I-95 podcast. This is episode 16, and it is brought to you by Easy Moving. Moving's hard enough. Do it the easy way, servicing Fairfield, Connecticut, removal in New York. I am the Turk, Adam Turkel, and my partner is Mr. Mike Carr of Philadelphia. What's up, Mikey Mike?
Yeah, in Philadelphia right now. I was out in Hershey, PA with the chocolate makers, the chocolatiers earlier, so that was fun.
Yeah, you like getting some of that fudge, huh? You like a little fudge here and there.
Like 4-hour drive.
Well, yeah, Hershey ain't exactly around the corner.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah, that was fun. Meanwhile, and then also starting my first fantasy football draft today. So I'll be making some nerd picks as I'm going.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I did fantasy for a while. I don't do it because I noticed for me personally, it changed the way I was watching games. And I like to watch the game like a purist. I don't want to root for a player to get X amount of points or X amount. If I don't like you and you're on Team X, I don't want to pull for you to.
I don't draft them either. I don't draft guys I don't like.
So, but I don't like anybody that's not a Jet, pretty much,
I respect players, like Marshawn Lynch was,
respect and like are two different subjects, Mike.
It's true. I guess we get into that or psychological.
That's right. Well, here we are, week 16. We're going to have no Frankie Ravioli due to family commitment, low life. So,
we're back to that, huh?
Yeah. So, he's ditching the show today. So he goes back from his nice Bob Shepard introductions back to the low life. The bad thing about Frankie not being on is people are not going to have someone to bet against, because of Frank's awesome record. But you and me are going to wing it today, but we're going to hold off those that were waiting on the AFC East picks. You're just going to have to wait another week because we don't want to disclude Frankie on that. And the same thing with our most underrateds that we were up to. So, but we got plenty to talk about, Mike. I'm not concerned with content.
Oh, boy. Especially right now, too.
We got baseball is about to go into its last month. The Yankees are the most confusing team I've ever watched, except for one man who is the greatest player I've seen since Barry Bonds. But otherwise, they're going out winning 2 out of 3, beat Cleveland, good team. Go, beat Washington first game, lose to Washington. Lose 1 of 3 to the White Sox. They have this propensity to look like a World Series team one night and to look like they're going to get bounced in the first round of playoffs the next night. Garrett Cole, to top it off, is the one that lost last night. And, that's not what you want, to say the least. They still have a 1-game lead on the Baltimore Orioles. This is going to go right down to the wire with them. And Aaron Judge and Juan Soto continue to be the best combination probably since McGuire-Canseco when you look at their numbers, right? You got Soto has 37 home runs, 98 RBIs, hitting 296. He hits 350 plus with men on base, and Judge is with his ungodly numbers. He is the only man in the history of long baseball in 100-game span to hit over 375, over 45 home runs, and over 100 RBIs.
Hey, good on him. That's an amazing. I'm not even being an asshole.
That's amazing.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
It is.
For a game that, puts guys in the Hall of Fame for doing it 30% of the time. He's almost hitting 40% of the time.
Yeah, and his on base is close to 500.
And he's putting the ball in the seats. So
OPS of 1,200 in that span, which is just insane. You know, I don't know why people are still pitching to him. You know, I'll start with that.
well, it's because you complain that they can't.
Well, maybe they listen to me, but maybe it's because when I teed off last week, one of the things I teed off on was Giancarlo Stanton,
Okay.
who all of a sudden
Yeah.
is hitting home runs. He's that streaky guy. I talked about it. And his streaks will drive you nuts. But right now, he's in one of those streaks where you don't want Judge and Soto on in front of him right now, you know, because he's likely to hit one out of the park. And Gleyber Torres seems to have figured out how to be a leadoff hitter. Now, the one black hole is still DJ LeMahieu. How Aaron Boone keeps running him out there day after day. Yesterday, in the ninth inning, against the Nationals, down 4-2, 1 out, first and second. LeMahieu coming up with a righty on the mound. He doesn't pinch hit one of three lefties on the bench. And then his excuse after is that, well, this guy matches up better number-wise with lefties than righties. But there's one mitigating factor, Mike. DJ LeMahieu is hitting 200. That's the mitigating factor. He's not hitting lefties or righties. Nobody. So, of course, what I expect happens, and the Yankees end up losing the game. And, you know, it's I don't know how it is for you guys in Philly. For the Yankees right now, it's a tough existence, man. One day you're up. Next day you dropped on your head. You know, you're psyched. You're depressed. It's insane.
So we could talk about your Yankees for a nice little number. Your number's down to 21. Your Magic's
Correct.
21.
Mike, they're making the playoffs. Whether they win the
Right.
division or not, that's not my
Right.
concern. My concern is
But how close everybody is. I mean, Yankees 21, Orioles 22, Royals 24, Guardians 24, Astros 27. And, I mean, we just beat the Astros twice, and now we're getting rocked as we speak. Taijuan Walker comes back and puts up these great numbers. 6 innings, 13 hits,
beautiful.
6 earned runs,
Nice.
and a walk with 0 strikeouts. And
Your
he went
team's
6
fault.
innings.
You brought in the ex-Met. That's on you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's amazing how, you know, again, you just proved what I said. You know, in Philly, you beat the Astros, who've had one of the best records in baseball since the All-Star break. You take 2 or 3 from them, and, you know, you're all right. This is good. We're back on track.
They were
then
getting
boom.
no hit for a while. Hold on. Wait. Oh, they're still getting no hit.
There you go.
They got a no-hitter. The Astros have 17 hits on 10 runs right now. I think somebody just hit a home run because it was 7-0 a second ago.
So what inning is this no-hitter in?
This no-hitter is going into the 8th inning.
Wow. So we may have the result of the Phillies being no-hit before this broadcast is over.
Yeah, actually, let me see if they got any walks. It could be worse.
You think it could be?
Now he walked 4 guys.
I was going to say it can't be a perfecto. That would just be too good for this show.
How about Altovey stole home in the first inning? I wasn't around for that.
Wow.
So you know it was starting off good. Guy stealing home in the first inning. Their leadoff hitter.
It's up and down, Mike. It
up
really
and
is.
down. It's not even just up and down. It's Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
It's Jekyll and Hyde. You got these guys coming out, you know, like you said. They came out the past couple of days. They won 4 in a row. And it was like, all right, here we go. Maybe they're starting to catch up again. Maybe we're throwing a little gas on that little bit of a spark that we have left. And then you go and pull this shit.
Yeah.
You pull this shit.
Way. I have a game the day before All-Timers Day where Soto, Judge, and Stanton go back to back to back. And then the next day on All-Timers Day with the 2009 championship team, which, by the way, beat your team, celebrating the 15th anniversary, they get smoked 9-2 by not by a great team, by Colorado.
Yeah.
You know,
Colorado.
it's unbelievable the ups and downs of this season. It really is. And
Turner again 0 for 3. Harper 0 for 2 with a walk. Bohm 0 for 3. Castellanos 0 for 3. Stott got a walk. He's 0 for 2. I mean, like, and then what happens is they do it again tomorrow, and they do it again. And that we got the Braves coming up again too.
that's right.
We got a fourth step with the Braves.
And the Braves have to win because the Braves are only 3 games ahead of the Mets still.
Yeah.
You know, now the Mets have fallen off. The Mets were right there for a minute. They actually took the top wild card spot for a second, and now they're 3 back at the last wild card spot. It looks like the Mets are finally fading.
So the playoff magic numbers for us: Dodgers 21, Brewers 21, Phillies 22, Padres 24, D-backs 25, Braves 28.
Braves have the toughest road. They're the ones that have the Mets up to you know what.
Yeah, Mets are 34. They're pretty much on. They're 28 away from being out.
They had a series with Atlanta. They have a 3-game set left with Atlanta.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not saying the Mets will do it because, like you say all the time, the Mets will probably Met.
The Mets will Met.
Right. But I did live the day that I saw the Boston Red Sox come back from 3-0 in a playoff against a team they never beat. So it can happen, even though it's not likely. It's not probable. You and I right now, if we had to bet our lives on it, would say it's not going to happen.
No.
But it can.
Right there. It's right there, yeah.
It's not far. It's not that far out. It's not. Listen, all these teams right now, right, that are fighting within these last 3 playoff spots in the National League, they're all one big winning streak or losing streak away from locking it up or throwing it away. Every one of them, right? If Atlanta goes out and loses 4 out of 5 and the Mets win 5 in a row, Atlanta's in trouble. You know, even if Arizona, who's played very good ball lately, if they suddenly start to spit on themselves, they're not that far ahead of Atlanta. They're not that far ahead of the Mets. They're still obtainable too. The National League, when it comes to wild cards, you really have 4 teams fighting for 3 spots, all within spit's distance of each other.
Yeah.
You know, now your team still maintains a lead in the East. I'd be really surprised if you guys blew it. I really would. I don't think Atlanta has enough. Now, when you get in the playoffs, we'll see. You know, short series, you don't know. But when we're talking about catching you guys for the division, what the hell just happened?
What happened there?
I don't know. The show wanted to make it the Turk show. They were tired of you already.
They did that. No, wait. This is going to be fun because they did it to you on mine.
Oh, did they really? Wow.
Yeah.
They double zapped us.
Just trying to cause a little turmoil. I said
some turmoil. What the hell is going on here? But, you know, all those teams are in spit's distance, so it's going to be 4 teams fighting for 3 spots. In the American League, the big question, I don't even think the West is a question anymore. Houston's winning the division. They're back, you know? Yeah. They're back. It is what it is. Kansas City has caught Cleveland, who's playing like shit. You know?
Yeah.
Kansas City's caught him. So now Kansas City's right up there, and you got a little bit of a mess with the wild cards and with the 2.
They were threatening to be one of the better teams, if not the best team in baseball at one point, too.
Right. And then they had the bad
slide.
They had the bad losing streak, and now they've regained themselves.
They're 4-6 in the last 10. Royals are 6-4 in their last 10, and only 1 game out.
That's right. So baseball is very very open right now.
This is where I was telling you. You're like, oh, well, the Yankees, and the other Phillies are doing great. Yeah, they're doing great, but although these games count, they count. They all count. It's not meaningful baseball yet.
Well,
this is where it starts.
You know why, though, Mike? Because there's so many playoff teams now that, like, picture if this was like it was back even just 10 years ago when there was 1 wild card and 3 division winners, and that was it. Right? Mm-hmm. This would be a bloodbath right now. These teams would be playing for their lives right now because only one of them is getting in. You know, the Yankees would be dying for the division against Baltimore. Kansas City and Cleveland dying for their divisions because there's no guarantee that if you don't win the division that you're going to make the playoffs. But in modern baseball, if the Yankees don't win a division, they're going to get the wild card. If Cleveland doesn't win a division, they're going to get the wild card.
They're in a wild card.
You know, so it's not as much onus on.
If the Astros don't win a division, they're going home.
They're going home. Whoever doesn't win that division, but see, I don't see Seattle catching them. I don't see it.
67 and 66.
I still don't see Seattle catching them.
Yeah, they're 4-6. They're good home team, man. 40 and 28 at home.
Yeah, terrible on the road.
Terrible. And 27 and 38.
Yeah, terrible on the road. So, you know, that's kind of state of affairs with baseball. But, you know, again, I'm going to go to watching the most incredible thing I've watched in my lifetime, which is the way Aaron Judge plays baseball. So not only does he hit everything 5,000 miles, but he steals home runs. He's playing center field. Everybody forgets that too. It's not like he's playing first base or even stuffed in right field. He's playing center field. He's stealing home runs and hitting home runs. He's throwing guys out. He stole a home run the other day and then doubled the guy out at first. I was like, yo, man, jeez, what do you not do well? What do you not do well? And right now, there really is nothing that he doesn't do well. Mike, he's the best player in baseball. He's better than Shohei Ohtani. He's better than the guy, the Witt on Kansas City. He's better than all these guys. He just is. He's that man right now. He's the new Barry Bonds without the steroids.
And was listening to ESPN and saying, you know, he's going to be one of the first guys to hit back-to-back, possibly 60 home run seasons.
Check this out.
Steroids.
Check this out.
Austin Hayes got a single. 8
All
and a
right.
third.
So at least you're not going to get no-no'd.
Yeah.
At least you won't get no-no'd. Yeah.
All right, we can turn that off now.
Yeah.
That was worrying me.
So, you know, what Judge is doing is very, very unprecedented, especially in this era of baseball where, all right, listen, I'm not throwing shade on Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, but this is the reality. Those guys faced one pitcher 3, sometimes 4 times in a game. And no matter how great the pitcher is, when you see him 3-4 times, you know, and you're seeing him X amount of times a year, you know what he's got.
Yeah, there were less teams you guys were playing. You're playing 140 games in a 28-team, you know,
12.
league.
12. They didn't remember the leagues didn't cross. The leagues weren't
cross.
Right.
There you go.
So you were playing 12 teams all year until the World Series.
Right. You never play. Right. And, yeah, you're going to see these guys. You're going to know them inside and out. You're going to know them like the back of your hand eventually.
And Judge is playing in an era where not only does he have to see a minimum of 3 different pitchers a game, right?
Right.
But after the starter, everybody that comes in throws 99 miles an hour. Everyone. Nobody does it anymore. That's the standard. If you don't throw 98, you can't be a relief pitcher. That just seems to be the way it is. So he's facing all these guys, and they all have computer numbers on him, and they're all studying him, and there's more film on him than there was in church on Jesus Christ. I mean, they're all over him, and he's still doing this. He's still doing it. And that's why what he's doing to me, and listen, I saw the whole Barry thing, okay? And I'm going to forget that his head was bigger than a Volkswagen, okay? I'm going to forget that he did the steroids for a minute.
Okay.
All right? Barry Bonds didn't have to face the same type of pitching scrutiny in New York to top it off. As the captain of the Yankees and face 3-4 different pitchers a game, and all of them throwing 100 miles an hour. He didn't have to face that. Now, what Barry did was unbelievable, right?
Maybe a little towards the end of his career.
I don't know if anybody's ever going to beat that 73. But if there is a guy that could, imagine this. Aaron Judge right now is a 334 hitter, right? Let's say he decides, screw the average. I'm swinging for the fences. Can Aaron Judge break 73, Mike?
Could he? Yes, sure.
Not this year. I mean, at some point. I mean, at some point in his career, if next year he came out and said, all right, I don't have to be a 330 hitter. I'm cool hitting 270. I'm going to turn a few of those doubles into more home runs. I want the record. He might be the one guy
he very well could
break
do
the record.
He very well could do it. He's got the power to do it. and he could put the bat on the ball.
Yeah.
And if you're showing that he can hit 375.
375 over 100 games. Mike, imagine what this guy's numbers would be if he had hit a lick in April.
Yeah.
He didn't hit in April at all. I mean,
I'm trying to find his stats.
go look at his April numbers. He didn't hit a lick in April. Everyone was like, what's wrong with Aaron Judge? Is he still hurt? He didn't play much in spring training. Is he banged up? Is he not the same? He was like, no, I'm good. I just got to find my rhythm. I'm good. And he didn't hit to the point to where I believe he was hitting like 170 or 160, Mike. It was terrible. Imagine if he had hit 250 and 10 home runs that month.
To go back to what we were talking about in April, it's got to be tougher on the northern teams to go to 70 and 80 degree weather in Clearwater and then come back up and play
40,
50 degree
right, the 40,
weather
50.
in April.
Right.
And, you're going to lose a rhythm. The balls, everything's different. The whole science of the game is different when that temperature drops. That's why sometimes October's so cool, because you don't know what you're going to get. You come up here, it's 85. Mike,
if the guy had hit a lick in April, he might likely be hitting 350 with 60 home runs and 140 already.
What was what year did Cabrera win the Triple Crown?
I'll tell you in a sec.
So I want to know his stats from that year. Let's compare them.
All right, let's go look. He's going to be dwarfed by Judge, by the way. All right, let's see. His Triple Crown year was.
I know he didn't hit more than 40 home runs that year, so he automatically.
No, he did not. He was a 17th Triple Crown winner in 2012.
2012. Okay, I already got Judge's stats up right here.
Cabrera stats 2012. All right, in 2012, Miguel Cabrera hit 330.
Okay, so Judge has him by 0.003 points.
He had 139 RBIs.
Judge is behind on that. Judge has 122, which he still has 40-some games to play. Or not 40-some. He's still got 30 games to play.
How come I'm not getting his home runs? I think he was in the 30s.
Yeah, I think he hit 34 or something that year.
Here we go. 44. 330
wow.
with 44 and 139. 109 runs scored. Played in 161 of 162 games.
Wow.
It was his first MVP, and he got his fourth Silver Slugger. Now, those numbers are great.
Yeah.
Judge is likely going to hit somewhere between 320 and 330 with around 60 home runs and 150 RBIs. Oh, and by the way, Miguel Cabrera was not the best defensive player at his position.
No, I think that's 2 years after moving to first base.
Right. So he was already getting older in the sense of baseball. He was moved to first base.
You said that was 12, correct?
Judge is doing it playing center field, Mike.
Yeah. I agree. That's one of the harder positions in the sport. You said it was 2012 he did that?
2012.
2012 MLB pitching.
Yeah, some really good pitchers.
Oh,
I'm not gonna front on the pitching, but you know how you could tell the difference in eras, Mike? Go look at 2012, the full season, the league batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Look for that stat. This year, the league batting average is 243 right now.
Yeah, it went down because
it's down 40 points. And you know why it's down that much? Because every reliever out of the pen comes out throwing 100 miles an hour and is a specialist for every inning. Starting pitchers only pitch 5-6 innings.
Bullshit that they started.
5-6 innings for a starter. That's it.
No, but I'm saying
the guy's throwing a no-hitter. He's not going no further.
Everybody stopped hitting for singles for a while, and it was just everybody was trying to put the ball over the fence. It was launch angle.
Part of it's the pitching too, Mike. Part of it's the specialist pitching. I mean, the 6th inning, you're bringing in a righty to pitch to your righties. In the 7th inning, you're bringing in a lefty to pitch to your lefties. or whatever you're doing, and then you're facing your closer and your pseudo closer in the last 2 innings. Now, while the great players aren't as great, for example, there's no Mariano Rivera right now, right?
Right.
There's no Greg Maddux right now, right? These guys just aren't available. It's not the same type of stock, but there's more quality, less dominance, more quality, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
the bullpen pitchers used to be the guys that couldn't be starters.
Yeah. A lot of them are, yeah. A lot of
You
them.
know, they got put in the pen because after 2-3 innings, they get rocked. They're not good starting pitchers, so you turn them into a bullpen hand. That's not the case now. These guys are groomed from the time they're in the minors, to come in and throw everything you got to where you're going to throw your UCL out for 2 innings or 1 inning or one batter, whatever it is. They want you to gas it up for that time. So it's a different era. I'll say.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys hitting in 300 in 2012.
Yeah, it's a different story.
Yeah,
Different story.
Joey Votto, Buster Posey.
It's only 12 years ago, Mike.
I know.
It's not that long ago.
It is that long ago. 12 years is a long time, man. I don't know. You're just like the picture. My 14-year-old's in goddamn high school now.
Listen,
I got gray hair now.
Listen, I don't want to hear it. 2012 was a blip in my ass. All right? It's not that long ago.
Carlos Ruiz was even in that talking, too.
Yeah.
325. Oh. But, again, people weren't, they start that launch angle bullshit, and then they changed the ball.
There was the juice ball era. There was the juice ball era, but that's gone. It's not the juice ball anymore.
They did
and Mike, here's your biggest example. Judge has 51 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next closest is Shohei Ohtani, who's considered to be like a god, and he's 10 behind him.
I don't consider him a god.
All right, but I'm talking. Listen,
Plunk his ass.
All right, you can't take from the guy what he's doing though.
Yeah,
he's hitting over 300,
and
40 home runs, 100 RBIs, 40 stolen bases,
and he'd be throwing just over 1 if he was able to throw with his arm.
Under 2, right? Whatever. We'll see that
just
next
under
year.
2.
We'll see that next year. But what he's doing at the plate, it just shows you how good Judge is. He's making guys like Soto and Ohtani look like, they're all right. They're okay. That's how good he is right now.
My guy's up here whiffing again.
Long live the Phils.
I can't wait.
Long live the Phils. So
October's right around the corner.
Rest of the season, Mike, I'm not overly concerned because the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. I'm going to watch Aaron Judge do his thing, maybe chase his own record. See how that goes. I'm hoping the pitching lines up. I'm hoping they can get the bye. I don't want to be facing like Houston in the first round or something as the wild card. Because if Houston wins its division, the Yankees could get them in the first round if the Yankees don't win theirs. So like to avoid that if we can, and we'll see what goes from there. As far as your Phillies.
Well, they shouldn't. If the Yankees don't win the division and Houston does, they'd have to be a 6 seed to play Houston.
Yeah, they shouldn't fall that far.
They wouldn't fall. That would be a
They should be the 4 at worst, the 5. But look at the standings, Mike.
Listen, I'm not
Those
saying
teams
it's not I'm saying it can't be done.
What's Kansas City? A game behind the Yankees? Wins wise? 2 wins?
Yankees are, over Kansas City. 3 wins.
It's not a lot.
3.5.
It's not a lot, is what I'm saying. There's 27 games left or whatever, and it's not a lot.
No, yeah. It's not something that it's not set in stone. We're not popping champagne and celebrating with our hats and T-shirts that we're in the playoffs yet, and let alone win. The division. Man, I can't talk today.
You don't talk any day good. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's not just me.
No, it's not.
It's not just today.
No, it's every day.
God damn it.
Oh no! It's time for a long-awaited wait. We haven't done it, Mike. Jeez, what am I doing?
Yeah, I know. You're over here arguing.
Here we go. Yeah. But
yeah, Astros.
I am going to count that in the end. I am going to count in the
Ball
end.
game over. Yankees win.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. He actually came back and did a game last week for 2 innings. He did a couple innings last week. Before we go up to Yankees, I want to talk about Old Timers Day real quick with you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what you think of this, right? So they're celebrating the 2009 team, right?
So
and
great.
it's great. You have all the guys there. You have Jeter. You have Matsui. You got A-Rod in his jersey for the first time.
I forgot you guys had Matsui, too.
Yeah. I mean, they had Matsui killed you. How can you forget? He had 6 RBIs in the last game.
Because it was so long ago, and I want to
forget. He was the MVP of the series, for God's sake. You know, and they have all these guys, right? And they have a Q&A, and the stadium is basically half empty. This is the problem. They don't play the game, and that's why nobody's going to see it, right? Now, I love my Yankee teams, my dynasty teams, and my 09, which I call my last stand with the core 4, right? I love those teams. And what's sad is that they're not playing because Jeter doesn't want to play. And management's afraid to upset him to the point where he won't come because Jeter wasn't around the first 6 years. He was out owning the Marlins. He didn't come to any of the functions the first 6 years after he retired. He was nowhere to be found, you know? And now what's been nice the last couple of years is since he stepped down from the Marlins is we got our Jeets back. He's coming to events and he gets the love from the crowd and it's great to see him. And he's still a great speaker. Like hearing the banter between those guys was great. You know, at one point, Susan Waldman asked A-Rod, what's the last time you put on this jersey? And Jeter said, are you kidding me? He wears it every night. He wears it every day. He wears it all over the place. Like Jeter's making fun of him because he's such a wannabe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the banter is really cool. But I think they need to start playing. Check this out. Next year is the 25th anniversary of the Yankees beating the Mets in the 2000 World Series. 25th anniversary. Yeah, my quarter of a century, right? Wouldn't it be great to have an Old Timers Day, the Old Timer Yankees against the Old Timer Mets?
You want to have a game between them?
Yeah, listen, they used to play an Old Timers game. They would play 4 innings or whatever. Nobody's throwing really hard. They're not playing that competitive, having fun. They used to do it all the time, the Yankees. You saw old guys. I mean, old guys. Like, I'll never forget, Reggie Jackson hit a home run when he was like 56 or something, you know, during the Old Timers game. And the place went nuts, you know, and you see some cool things because these old guys still aren't the older, but every now and then they'll flash you, you know, like, that used to be this good, you know.
Yeah,
I think they need to start playing the Old Timers game again. They stopped it 2 years ago. Why?
I guess, like you said, I guess just guys moving on and they're not as maybe as dedicated.
No, it's one
to the
guy,
team
Mike.
anymore.
Everyone else wants to play.
It's only Jeter that doesn't want to play.
That's what the word is. And when they asked Jeter about it at the post Old Timers Day press conference, he's like, I don't make those decisions. Don't look at me. It's not my fault. You know, he literally said that. But all the reports to a man is that Jeter doesn't want to swing a bat again because, and I get this, he doesn't want to look bad. He is Derek Jeter. Okay?
Yeah,
he's
the biracial angel.
He is literally Yankee royalty. When I grew up, when I was a kid, right, and Old Timers Day used to have Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle and, you know, all those guys from that. And then later during the 90s Yankees, it was the 70s Yankees that came. Ron Guidry, Willie Randolph, and all those guys. That's now Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Paul O'Neill. These guys are the Yankee lore now. They are the living legends. They are the last dynasty in baseball. Play the game, guys.
Well,
the fans will go
to
nuts.
be fair, your team's the only one that still does it.
And they still do it best.
You're the only team that still does it. I never
The Mets had
never even heard of it. I never even heard of it. I was like the Old Timers game.
The
never heard of the
Mets did it last year.
The Mets did it last year?
Yes, they did.
Well, Google says New York Yankees, 1947 to present.
Yeah, but they haven't played the game in 2 years, so that's wrong. They haven't played the game itself. They saw the Old Timers ceremony, but
that's probably what it is because it just comes out Old Timers Day.
Yeah, they still have Old Timers Day, but they wiped the game off the map 2 years ago. Bring it back. I mean, come on. You're going to tell me these guys can't, in their 50s, former pro players can't play basically a softball game? That's
what I was going to say. Hey, just play a softball game.
But that's all it is. Nobody's throwing hard. Like, I mean, I remember in the old timers days, Ron Guidry would groove it. David Cohn recently, until 2 years ago, would groove it. Bernie Williams hit one out of the stadium. You know, he would groove it for them. He's having fun. You know, yeah, Mariano comes in and threw somebody a cutter. Paul O'Neill, he threw Paul O'Neill a cutter. And Paul O'Neill was like, "What the heck is that, Mo? Don't throw me that." You know? So
I got to golf tomorrow.
I'm bringing that up because I think the Yankees kind of listen, Jeter.
Drop the ball.
If I was Jeter's friend, I would go up to him and say, "Jeets, come on, man, pull your thumb out of your ass. Everybody wants to do it but you, and all the fans want to see it. You know how much love they'd give you? You don't have to, nobody's expecting you to get the hit in the bottom of the ninth with 2 out to win the World Series. Those days are over. Stop worrying about it. Let the fans love you. You know? That's my
I guess just to hear it one more time.
Yeah.
Number 2, Derek Jeter.
Well, that's what they did. They when he came out for Old Timers Day, they played Bob Shepard. He's the only one that he'll let announce him. Whenever he's announced at Yankee Stadium, it's Bob Shepard.
Maybe that's another reason why.
Why he still could do it.
Yeah, I guess he could still do it, but maybe he's like, you know, Bob was a big fan of mine, and I love.
You know that when Bob Shepard passed away, Jeter played for years after that.
Yes.
And Bob Shepard's voice is what was played every time he came up. At Jeter's last All-Star game, the year before he retired, Bob Shepard's voice was played to announce him for the All-Star game. So he's only been announced by Bob, and that's easy enough for them to do because they still have the old tapes of Bob doing it, you know? But anyway, I just think it's something that traditionally they kind of need to bring back because, like you said, it's unique. It's unique to the Yankees. They're the only team in sports with a history like they have. There is no other, right? In any sport.
I don't know. We have a pretty good history.
Celtics come close. Celtics come close, right? I give them that. They come close. When they won the 10 in a row, and I think they have a total of 17 or whatever it is, they come close. But they're not around as long as the Yankees are not as traditional. It's not the same thing.
Okay, here's another thing. You're probably the biggest Yankees fan I know because, you know, I live in Philly.
Lucky you.
Today is October 28th, October 29th. The Yankees just clinched and won the World Series. Are you tears of joy, or are you just like, mark up another one, boys?
No, I've made it a point. The young ones, I didn't appreciate the way I should have. The 70s.
Yeah.
Right? And then I went through that long drought from when they lost to the Dodgers in 81 until they went back in 86.
Right.
I mean, 96, excuse me. I've made it a point to cherish everyone. Everyone. I treat it like it's the first because it's the only team I have that treats me right. It's the only one, Mike. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody else. You know, so when they lost in 2001 to the Diamondbacks, it hurt so bad. The team had just won 4 and 5 years.
Yeah.
And it hurt so bad because of September 11th, you know, and it was such a rallying call for New York City when the Yankees got into the playoffs. And I don't know if you remember that year. That was the year of the Jeter cutoff play when the Yankees are down 2-0 to Oakland. And the throw comes in from the outfield, and Jeter comes running across the field and backhands it to Posada, and they throw Giambi out the plate. Dude, the play is one of the greatest plays in playoff history.
We'll have to look it up.
And the whole series changed. The whole series, and the Yankees won the last 3 games, ended up winning the series 3-2 in a 5-game set. That after going down 0-2 at home. 0-2 at home. So
this was the one you said, right?
This was 0-1, the year that they beat the year they lost to the Diamondbacks. They beat the A's in the playoffs, down 2-0. Look for Jeter cutoff play. 2001 Jeter cutoff play. And it's one of the most incredible plays you'll ever see.
On this thing, 2001, the flip.
The flip, that's it. That's it.
Let's hold on. All right. Get some
And
sound.
it's
Guess we got.
here it comes. Comes out of nowhere.
Oh, wow. Oh, you heard them. Oh,
Look at this play.
that's the Moneyball year, right?
That was during that era. No, the Moneyball years were a little before that, but that was
Okay.
at
I
the
thought
end
that
of
was
the Moneyball era. That was the end of the Moneyball era. But the point being that that one hurt bad because of September 11th.
Yeah.
I remember them all, good and bad. They've all meant something to me as a Yankee fan for all the years, and it's been a long time, man. I don't expect to see 5, 6 more in my lifetime. I've seen 7. I saw 4 and 5 years. I've been lucky as a fan to see that. I got to see Aaron Judge get one, Mike. He's got to get one. He has to.
Right.
They got to find a way for him to get one.
That's how. Yeah. That's. Although Bryce isn't a original, I want Bryce to win one here. He's very much like a Philadelphia's blue collar guy. He's the hardworking kind of guy. He doesn't always want to just be in the spotlight. Even
He
though
wants to win. He's a winning player.
Even though he throws a helmet like a girl, we appreciate.
He cares, and you could tell he cares.
Right.
Listen, all cities are like this. Philadelphia, New York. That's why New York loved Paul O'Neill.
Yeah.
They loved him because he was so passionate. He was so into the game. He would knock over coolers if he struck out. He could be 3 for 4. If that fourth one was a bad at bat where they needed it, he'd go nuts, throwing his helmet, mad at himself. Bryce Harper is like your Paul O'Neill.
Bryce Harper is very much like that. Yeah.
Right.
So Schwarber. And this team is very much the blue collar team, most blue collar team we've had since the '93 Phillies. So yeah, we really want this team to win. Now, are they going to win? That's just going to remain to be seen. Yeah, you get beat 10-0 today, and then let's see if they scored again. I think I heard another run across the plate.
And the bottom line is, does it really matter, Mike, until we get to October?
It doesn't. It really doesn't. But also, back to show and pride. This falls on Topper. This falls on Rob Thompson, because you let a guy coming off an injury who's been shit all year as your starting pitcher stay in and continue to give the other team runs. Keep putting quarters in the merry-go-round, and they're going to keep running around you.
Well, what's your bullpen situation? Did you have guys available? Maybe he was trying.
Yeah, we have guys available.
Maybe
Absolutely.
he realized the game's out of hand and he wants to hold his.
That's probably what it
guys.
was. It was 7. It was 4-0 when I saw it at first, and then he gave up one. And at that time, me and the old man are upstairs eating dinner. We got it on the radio, and then he gave up another one. And they're like, "It's like, oh, here comes Topper out of the, or not Topper, the pitcher coach." And we're like, "All right, he's out of here." Now they set him back out, and then he gave up another one. Yeah, we suck again.
All right, well, I think we've chewed up enough baseball.
We killed the baseball today. Holy shit.
we did enough baseball, and we'll see what goes on for the next 25, 27 games, and we'll see where the cards fall. And each week I get more agita about it, and I'm sure you just want consistency. The same thing I want.
That's it. And technically, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, they always say, right?
Yeah, but it's not consistent.
You
want to see those 5-game win streaks, those 7 out of 9 stretches,
I'd like to see a sweep between now and September 29th. I want to see.
Yeah, every ass team we play, we take 2 or 3 from. We just don't sweep nobody.
And including this one coming up with the Braves. Huge game with the Braves. Tomorrow in a 4-day stint.
In Philly?
In Philly. So we need that. And then we got the Mets and the Nationals later on in September, which are meaningful games, but
let's go Mets.
Wow. I'll make sure I screenshot that one. You think 2000s Turk would ever have heard 2024 Turk, oh, let's go Mets?
Well, that was very anti-Philly of me, is what that was.
Yeah, it was. I know. And
all right, let's get to some NFL stuff, Mike.
Season's coming up.
So we had the last week of preseason. Yawn, right? The Jets played nobody.
Hold on. It wasn't yawn. Merrill Reese himself at the end of his broadcast. You know how they always have to give the disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
Any copy of this game must be written consent by the NFL, WIP. Oh, I said WIP.
Shout out to WIP, giving him credit for this. Merrill Reese's comments.
Please, we're giving you credit, and I love you guys over there. Ike, Merrill, love yous. Anyway, we don't get canceled again.
Yeah.
He goes on and he says, any telecast, and he goes, I apologize for even having to read it because the Vikings just beat the brakes off of us with their third string against our third string.
But it don't matter.
Like, who would want to take, like, they didn't start anybody.
So, you know what? But, Mike, in your team's case, right, you got your quarterback back with most of his offense, with the exception of adding Barkley and your new illustrious guard who's going to stink, right? And
he kept calling a tackle, and I said he's not going to start a tackle.
No, he's going to start at guard, but that's just as bad. He's going to be there. That's all there is to it. So you get Mekhi Becton protecting Jalen Hurts. But other than that, most things are the same.
Mm-hmm.
On my team's case, Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in 2 years in the NFL, other than 4 plays. He has not played any meaningful games with these group of guys. I think he needed to play. The coach in me says he needed to play. Just for them to get a little game timing.
I totally agree with you 100%. He should have been out there. You got to get some bumps.
His first action is going to be against the San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara. I mean,
break a leg. I hope he does good.
It's a bad spot. I think they've put him in a bad spot. Now, look, first game of the year, you know this. I know this. Any current NFL fan knows this. It's a crapshoot because the first 3-4 weeks of the regular season are now preseason because nobody played in the preseason to get the kinks out. So it's going to take them a couple of weeks to get the kinks out, right? So the first and second week, more than any, are a little bit crapshooty. You know, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know who's going to play well. You don't know who's going to get hurt. All these types of things. But to have Rodgers coming off an Achilles surgery at 41 years old this season, right? Against one of the 3 best defenses in football with no familiarity with his team, really. And I don't care how much they practice the scrimmage. I don't care. It's not the same. Don't tell me it is. I'm a football coach. It's not the same.
I'm not telling you it's the same.
No, I'm saying people out there saying it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, it does matter. That's the part you don't understand. You're not a football coach. You're a layman fan watching on TV. It does fucking matter. It absolutely matters. So now we have to hope and pray that with all the other things, staying healthy and everything else, right? That there's timing there. That plays that should be executed properly are due to timing. That, you know, it's not a step off here or a step off there. Or he's not sure the way his left tackle cuts off this hard outside rush. And he doesn't step the right way because he hasn't dealt with it yet. And he gets crushed. I just don't. To me, some football things are so unintelligent now. It's like you want to bite your nose off to spite your face. You want to save your $50 million a year player, but you don't want to make him play so he can protect himself in a real fucking game. It makes no sense, Mike. It makes none. None at all. I don't get it. Why is everybody thinking it's okay?
And like you said, it's the new age of thinking. You know, where I remember with the 4 games, they started the first 2 preseason games or the last 2.
No, it was always they would start the last 2, and in the last one, the third one, the second to last one, they would play like 3 quarters. Like they would come out after half for another drive or 2.
Yeah.
And
then
they
yank everybody.
Right.
But they, like you said, they had game speed practice. You can have scrimmages against teams and these little practices that they have against other teams. But the little bit of fans that show up.
Your quarterback is redshirted. He's not allowed to be touched. It's not the same thing.
And your quarterback's redshirted.
It's not the same thing.
There's a guy that actually can stand there in a football game, besides the kicker, and not get hit.
No matter what.
He needs it. Every football player needs it. You need that contact, that pressure. And they could say whatever they want about Rodgers, how great he is. He's running a future Hall of Famer.
Oh, and you know me, I'm a junkie. I watch all the practice film and shit.
Right.
He looks phenomenal.
Right, because he doesn't have to
great.
worry about getting hit.
He looks mobile. He looks like he can still move. His arm is the same. He still has that cannon. He can still throw that no-look pass. He's got all that shit, but he doesn't have timing with his teammates.
And your division, a lot like mine, very competitive.
3 of the 4 teams are really good.
You hate 3 teams.
Yeah.
I hate 3 teams. I don't really hate the Commanders as much, but
because they're not threats. The same way I hate the Patriots from history.
Yes.
This year I'm looking forward to revenge because they're that bad.
Right. But
You know,
that's what I mean. You're that. It's like when Dallas was so good in the 90s. When I was becoming an adolescent and understanding football, and us beating Dallas, the onside kick to start the game when Andy Reid, the pickle juice game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, those were exciting times. We're like, dude, we beat Dallas. And not only that, we beat them twice that year. And those led to Super Bowl appearances. Not saying it's going to happen for you guys, but him not having that game speed thing, there's going to be a guy wanting to knock his head off or cause injury back to his leg again. There are guys that are going to want to do that. There's not guys that are going to feel sorry for him.
Mike, I want to play a game with you, all right?
Sure.
We're going to play the New York Jets win-loss game.
Okay.
All right?
You want me to predict your win-losses?
I want you to predict it game by game as I go.
Okay.
Monday, September 9th at San Francisco.
Loss.
0-1.
Close game.
September 15th at Tennessee with a new head coach and a new quarterback.
Win.
1-1. Home opener.
Win.
Against the Denver Broncos.
Win. I know they're playing Denver. My buddy's a Denver.
Home for New England.
Win.
That's 3-1. Home for Buffalo.
Loss.
At home? You sure about that?
Yeah.
They beat him at home the last 2 years with you playing quarterback.
I know. I'm going to say
and
loss.
Buffalo's lost people. You sure about
Buffalo's
that?
lost people. I'm going to call
All
it
right, so we'll say
another
3-2.
close game.
Jets at Steelers. Sunday night.
Oh, yeah, win.
4-2. Jets at New England.
They'll beat them there.
5-2. Houston Texans at Jets. Keep in mind, the Jets beat them 30-6 last year with Zach Wilson.
Now, I'm also going to say that is another win because I don't think C.J. Stroud's going to be as good as he was last year.
5-2. Jets Cardinals.
Win.
6-2. Colts Jets.
Loss.
6-3. Seattle at Jets. This
Seattle's
is all with presumed health, by the way. This is assuming Rodgers is playing.
Yeah,
All
win.
the above. Jets at Dolphins.
Loss.
That's 8-4. Jets at Jacksonville.
Loss.
Really? I think you're off on that one.
That's
8-5.
We're allowed to
Rams at Jets.
win. Another defensive struggle.
Jets at Bills. You're not going to tell me you really think Buffalo's going to sweep them with everybody they lost. You can't tell me you're an intelligent football guy and say that.
Yeah, all right. Again, these are division games, so I have to go 50-50 on it. So, yeah.
In division, I'm assuming, tell me if I'm wrong.
They're going to take 1 or 2.
This is my assumption in the division.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to split with Miami, split with Buffalo, sweep New England. That's
and that's what I have so far.
Okay, so that would mean that you have them winning in Buffalo, and then you have them winning at home the last week against Miami.
Yeah.
That's 11 wins, and that was with you being pessimistic.
A little bit.
The Jets have the 4th easiest schedule in the NFL.
Okay.
If Rodgers is healthy, and this team doesn't win 12 games, there's going to be riots at East Rutherford.
So I never, ever, ever listen to that bullshit of strength of scheduling in the beginning of the season.
Because, these some unknown factors. A good team will suck. A shitty team will be good.
They
That
go,
always
always
happens.
go in, and they always go in. It's always off of last year. Has nothing to do with this year. And like last year, the Eagles had the hardest schedule in the league, and it was all on the back end. And then when the Eagles went 10-1, it was like, well, because they beat, a couple good teams. They might end up doing really well towards the back, and they lost 6 in a row.
All right, so we agree the Jets should be.
The Jets are going to go. I think they should be a playoff team. They should be a AFC East champion defender.
Okay, I agree. They
Contender.
should win the division. I agree with that.
Contender. They
Okay.
should be one of the teams.
Now we're going to play the same game with Philadelphia.
Okay, I'll bring it right up.
All right, I got it already.
Well, I want to ask you, why can't I talk?
Well, you can't. All right, I was just going to read them off, you punk. All right, go ahead.
Oh, wait. Now I want you to answer.
All right.
Okay, I don't want to answer them. We're going 16-0 as far as I'm concerned. 17-0.
Crack
Sorry.
kills.
All right, so Friday in Brazil, Eagles are the home team against the Packers.
This is actually a really close one.
This is a tough one.
It's a lot closer than I would have thought. I think there's a little too much hype behind Jordan Love. I'm going to take the Eagles.
Okay. Home opener against the Falcons.
You're going to fall on it because Atlanta's going to be better than everybody thinks. I picked them to win the division. Atlanta's going to win that game. 1-1.
Heading down to NOLA.
2-1 Eagles.
Going right across over to Tampa Bay. I'll be at that game.
3-1 Eagles.
Good, because I don't lose games. Come back home versus the Browns.
I'm going to give you a loss in that one. 3-2.
I don't think Deshaun Watson's ever won in Philly either.
I don't think it's about Deshaun Watson. That's why.
Okay.
I think they're going to be able to run on you. And their defense is really, really
The defense is good.
is really good.
First game in New York versus the Giants.
Eagles. That's 4-2.
Away against the Bengals.
I don't have a lot of faith in the Bengals for some reason this year. I'm going to give that to the Eagles. 5-2.
I feel like that's going to be a close game. That's one of those toss-up games. Dougie Pete's coming back against the Jaguars at home.
Eagles 6-2.
First game against the Cowboys in Dallas.
I'm going to say you trip on that one. 6-3.
Whew. I have a sweep on the Cowboys this year. Eagles against the Commanders. Eagles at home.
7-3.
Eagles against the Rams in LA.
8-3.
Then to Baltimore.
8-4.
Ooh. Panthers.
Carolina shouldn't even show up. 9-4.
9.
Stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the
10-4.
Steelers at home. 10-4. Commanders again. Only we're in Washington.
Loss. 10-5.
I believe if that happens, I told you last week, if that happens, we lost the division.
I think Washington's going to be tough, Mike. I don't think you're going to sweep them. I gave you the first one. I think you're going to take the second one.
I think you said we lost the first one, but okay. Either way.
Wait, did I say that?
I think, but it doesn't matter. You were saying how they were gonna flip flop anyway. So
Okay.
Eagles Cowboys back at home for the Eagles game.
Eagles.
Eagles are at home, and then you got the Eagles Giants to end out the season,
So you should win 12 games.
which should in this conference
Should win the division. Should give you the 1 or 2 seed.
should get us the 1 or 2 seed.
Right. And
Should
nowadays, the 1 seed is more important because only the 1 seed gets the bye.
Gets the bye, and that's all that matters. This is the only sport where I believe that it really matters. It really matters to get that bye.
Yeah, to get that rest and get guys healthy. That's the biggest reason. To get guys that are banged up a week off.
And
That's
the
really
Eagles-
what you need.
Make the NFC Championship every time they've had the number 1 seed.
So check it out, right? Could we be looking at Eagles Jets?
So
All right, so let's continue to play this game. Let's play this game.
This is
Let's assume
obviously
Jets-
this is for
the
content.
Jets won the division.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Baltimore won the division. Kansas City won the division.
Maybe Kansas City stumbles this year.
Let's say Kansas City, because they did it last year, They're a little complacent in the preseason. They don't get the 1 seed.
Okay.
The Jets are the 1 seed with 12 wins.
Oh, okay.
Kansas City wins 11. Baltimore wins 11, maybe even 10, because that division is tough as shit. And they might just split in that division, only be 3-3 in that division. Division's tough. They got Cleveland. Pittsburgh always beats them. And even if Pittsburgh's a little down, Pittsburgh always beats them, and Cincinnati.
You're probably looking at a home game versus Houston.
Well, let's talk about the wild cards now. So you're saying Houston?
I'm
going to
thinking
add
lower
Buffalo.
end.
I'm going to add Buffalo.
Buffalo and
I'm going to say Cincinnati.
Okay.
That's the 3 I'm going to say.
I had Cincinnati winning the division, so I don't.
All right. Well, either way, whether it's Cincinnati and Baltimore, 1 and 2, or whatever the case is, both are probably going to have similar records. Neither one's going to be a high seed, I don't think, because of the division, right? So one of them will be the 3. One of them will probably be the 5, right?
Okay.
First round, Jets get Buffalo at home.
Third game,
and they split during the regular season, and they're home.
That's tough. You can speak to me from experience. It did not go very well for us a few times. That third game in the playoffs. Now, NFC Championship, totally different story. But those division games are tough, that divisional round. It's a toss-up. That'd be a coin toss. I wouldn't say that you could. I'll
say the Jets will be like a 3.5 point favorite into the game because they'll be home. Right. I'm going to guess it'll be a tough game, but I'm a firm believer. Tell me if you disagree. Defense wins championships. The Jets have the better defense. Matt Milano's out for the year. I'm going to say the Jets win that game. It's going to be cold. It's going to be in a screaming, frenzy fan base that has been starved, going nuts. I'm going to say the Jets
helmets are back.
Yes, I'm going to say the Jets win that. Okay. I'm going to assume that. No, I'm sorry. I'm saying the Jets get the 1 seed. The Jets are off.
Right, but you're saying if Buffalo
wins, would have had to have beaten Cincinnati or something like that. So now I'm talking divisional round. I'm talking semifinals.
Yes.
The Jets are beating Buffalo, and I'm going to say Kansas City
is playing Baltimore.
Beating whoever's left, Baltimore or Cincinnati, whoever's left. We'll call it that. Right, because I think we could agree Baltimore, Cincinnati are kind of a toss-up. You know, a little bit of a toss-up.
You're saying they're not as good. I'm thinking Baltimore's probably going to be contending for that number 1 seed again this year.
See, I just don't think so because of the division.
Okay. Well,
that's why I don't think so. They're going to win 10 or 11 games, but I just think that, if Pittsburgh is a 500 team, it's going to be because they beat them once, and they always beat them. Yeah. Cleveland beats them. Cleveland beat them once last year.
But we're living in Turk's world where you guys won it by a game.
Right.
You're the number 1 seed.
Right. By a game. We didn't blow everybody away, but we happen to be the number 1 seed because we got to beat New England twice, basically.
All right. Well, the big 3. Jets versus Cincinnati is your best case scenario. So let's go with that one first. AFC Championship.
Jets, Cincinnati, in Jersey.
In East Rutherford.
I'll take the Jets all day because of defense.
Okay. Jets, Baltimore.
Tough. Hard. Pick them. That's tough.
And Jets,
here's
Kansas
the painful one.
Does Andy win another AFC championship?
And can he do it in the Meadowlands?
Which he has
against
a great
Aaron
record.
Rodgers.
He has a great record in the Meadowlands.
But you got old dog Aaron Rodgers against the established, undisputed best quarterback in the league right now.
You got the guy who is technically the best quarterback to have played the game right now.
Right. Before this guy
versus the young pup.
Right. You got the former best against the current best, basically, right?
Yep.
When you're talking about athleticism, they're similar in that way.
I mean, if we're talking wrestling, WWE wrestling, this is a WrestleMania event.
Yeah, this is Hogan and The Rock. Yeah.
So, and then what do you think about that one?
You want to know the truth? I'd be more worried against Baltimore.
You think they run out of gas?
I'm going to tell you why. Number one, Kansas City's due to not win one.
Yeah,
I'll
they're
start
running
with
out of
that.
gas, is what you're saying,
right? Number two, Kansas City's defense, if the Jets' offense is what I think it's going to be, is not going to be able to put the complete brakes on them, but the Jets' defense might be able to put the brakes on Pat Mahomes. Might.
Okay.
Now, Kansas City's receiving core is not super deep. You get outside of Kelsey, you get outside the number one, and this is the same crap they went through last year and they won the Super Bowl, basically, right? So I'm never going to sleep on Mahomes in Kansas City, and I will be having a stroke if the Jets get to that point to play either one of those teams in the championship game, because it's going to be one of them. If the Jets get that far, if they get to the AFC Championship, it will be Kansas City or Baltimore in the way. So I'll take my chances with that. I what am I going to say? If we could beat Mahomes, then I would say we're going to win the Super Bowl. That'd be my thought.
Yeah, I mean that would be a very that'd be like more of an obvious statement. That would be.
Now I think if we beat Baltimore, that doesn't mean we're going to win the Super Bowl. Because then if we get a tougher team like Philly, if Philly puts it together in the Super Bowl, they might be more talented than Baltimore was. They definitely have a better defense. Your team has a better defense than Baltimore. I'll say that.
The thing with the Eagles is that team's been there. Most of those guys have.
That's another thing.
You have a team
that's been there, done that, right?
We're not worried about, what if this happens or this? No,
they're going to be worried about the podcast, baby. That's what it is. It's the podcast. Yeah.
Here's the disclaimer: we are the writers of the NFL.
Yes, they're going to be worried about the podcast. They don't want us, they don't want to screw up our script. Now, same token, NFC, right?
Oh boy.
So you get the Eagles win a division.
And they're the number one seed.
We're going to say San Francisco wins the division and is the 2 seed. We're going to say that, for argument's sake, even though I don't think it's going to happen, Detroit wins the division because they're the favorite.
Yes.
They're the 3 seed. The wild cards are Dallas, Washington.
That's 3 teams.
And Chicago. That's my guess because I just don't think Green Bay's it. So
okay, I don't think Green Bay's it either. I think that NFC North is.
And I said this on last week's show, Mike. Caleb Williams, looks as advertised. He looks like he's going to be that good if he stays healthy. All things considered, we're assuming health in all this, right? Yeah. So let's say their first year they get a wild card. All right, you got the first round bye. San Francisco wins at home. There's always an upset somewhere, so I'll say Detroit gets upset by
Dallas.
Maybe, yeah.
Washington.
But you know what? For the sake of fun, let's say Dallas.
I really don't even see Dallas as with all the turmoil that's going on.
And that's why I'm going to go with it because we're saying nah, and maybe because we're saying nah. It's yeah. Okay. So let's say Dallas goes and upsets Detroit because you know what? If you think of it matchup-wise, it makes sense. It could happen, right? You think about it, it makes sense. They're very similar teams, as a matter of fact. And by the way, speaking of the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys just signed Cook. They just signed Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, the running back. So Zeke will not be carrying 20 times this year. It's not going to happen.
We all knew that. You can't run a 7 flat.
Right, but they had to get someone to make it not happen. So that's what they did. They got someone to make it not happen.
I didn't even know he was still out there. Oh, my God.
So now, here's your second round matchup, Mike. You ready?
Yeah.
Dallas at home.
Win.
Very confident.
Very confident. I don't even think they belong in the conversation. I think if they played somebody like Detroit in the first round, in Detroit, and you notice how I said it like a Philadelphian too, Detroit. I don't even see them like they're getting laughed out of the building.
All right, so now let's look at the two opponents the way we did for the AFC.
Okay.
Choice 1. Detroit at home.
That would be a tough game. I think that would be the scariest situation. And that would be your Eagles be a 3-point favorite.
Right, home team 3,
And
right.
that comes down to like a Jake Elliott field goal or, oh God, I don't even want to talk about this now, like a epic interception or fumble at the end of the game to like seal the deal.
Choice number 2, 49ers at home.
Spanked them.
Wow.
Chalk it up. Another team that's like going through it, like you said, like Kansas City, they're bound to have a bad year. I think we torched them.
So strip your fandom away for a second, which I know is hard to do.
I'm serious about that one.
All right, strip your fandom away right now.
Yes.
You think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think the Jets are going to the Super Bowl.
And we think the Yankees and the Phillies are going to the World Series. I wonder why. Now,
all right, I got one more fun game.
go ahead.
To get to Frank.
Yeah.
Let's do Frank's schedule.
Oh, yes.
Steelers schedule.
Do I have to be? I got to be.
We're both going to do it.
But not. We can't be biased.
No, we can't be biased. We have to try to be honest. Even though Frank is an ass, we're going to try anyway. All right?
Frank, thanks for listening.
Yeah, we know Frank's listening. Frank's definitely listening. He's like, shut up, you assholes. Shut up. You're being mean to me again. All right.
Why you guys got to do that? You know?
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, wait. This is preseason. Here we go. Regular season. Steelers open up at Falcons.
Loss.
I agree. Frank, we're not sticking to you. We both just think they're going to lose. At Broncos, I'll give them a win.
I'll give them a win, and that's like by 6 or 7.
1-1. Home for San Diego Chargers with
Blown
Jim
out.
Harbaugh as the coach.
Blown out.
Wow.
Harbaugh's a better coach than Tomlin, I think.
Wow. All right. I'm going to give them a loss there, too. I'm going to say 1-2. At Colts.
Loss.
I'm going to give them a win.
Okay.
So you got 1-3. I got 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Home for Dallas. I'm going to say loss.
Trying to strip my fandom.
They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, I know. That's a loss.
So I got them at 2-3. You got them at 1-4.
But
Sorry,
also,
Frank.
before we go too far into it, Dallas does lose the teams without quarterbacks.
True.
That is a Dallas move. Go ahead.
At Raiders.
They got Gardner Minshew as their head.
I'm going to give them a win. I'm going to say 3.
I'm going to give them a win, too. Even
So
though
you're
that's like a rivalry.
You're 2-4. I'm 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets.
They're losing.
Loss. See ya. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah.
So that's 3-4 for me. And that's 2-5 for you. Giants, I'm going to give them a win. I think the Giants stink. They're home for the Giants.
Yeah, they're home. So, yeah, they'll beat the Giants.
At Commanders.
They're going to lose that.
I'm going to say a loss.
That might be like a blowout, too.
3-6. Wow. Ravens at home. I'm going to give them a win because they always split with the Ravens.
You got kicked out.
Hey!
I didn't do that. That's great.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, no, we ain't doing that. Okay, we're going to go back to normal here. All right.
That was cool. I think the Ravens sweep them this year.
Wow.
This is the year the Tomlin goes down. So
At the Browns.
Loss.
You got them at 2-8 right now.
Yeah.
I got them at 4-6. You got them at 2-8.
Yep.
At Bengals, loss. 4-7, 2-9. Home for the Browns. I'll give them a win. Really? You think they're going to be 2-10?
You know what they say about having 2 quarterbacks?
You're calling them the worst team in football. Yeah, but their defense is very good.
Their defense is very good, but your defense doesn't score points.
I'm going to be a little more realistic than you, I think. All right. So you got them at 2-9.
2-10 because they're not beating the Eagles either.
2-9, 2-10. So you got 2-10.
2-11 because I think they get swept by the Ravens.
I got them at 5-7. then I'm going to say they lose this one 5-8. You got 2-11. Chiefs lost 5-9.
No, Chiefs will win.
2-12.
Chiefs will win. Chiefs, I think, at that time probably have the division locked up, and they start sitting their guys that week.
And then the last game is home against the Bengals.
And they'll probably beat the Bengals because the Bengals will have everything locked up, and they'll have. So that's 4 wins I have them getting this year.
So you got the Steelers at 4-13.
Yep.
Brian's going to hate you.
That's fine.
I got them at 7-10.
Still under 500.
Either way, it's not what you want.
No.
And
No,
I'm
but
being
like we
optimistic. I'm looking at color. Now, maybe I'm not being optimistic with the Jet game, right? But I don't think their roster stacks up to the Jets. I think the Jets going to be able to score. They're not going to be able to score.
Right.
You know,
maybe they win that game. It's early on in the season, too, right?
No, it's week 6. Week 6.
All right, so we're starting to get moving.
Everybody's
like
in their group.
24-12.
Everybody's in their group by like week 4 or 5.
24-12, 24-10, something like that. They would win.
Yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be putting up a bunch of points against the Jets defense.
Now, even if he's still alive and starting.
And when they play Philadelphia, you know, Philadelphia's going to be trying to lock up the division. Steelers going to be sputtering.
Right,
Frank
but I
also,
again, I still think that the Eagles, I feel a division push again this year, and I don't think it's going to be with the Cowboys. So the only team that's showing progression is the Commanders. So towards the end of the year, we're probably going to need that game against.
And you know, I like Daniels with the Commanders, and I like the head coach. You know, and they've had a good defense already. So obviously,
the Steelers haven't won in Philadelphia since 1954, something like that.
Been a minute. Been a long minute.
They haven't. The war was almost 10 years. The Second World War is almost 10 years old at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And
so either way, we think that the Jets are likely winning the division, barring injury.
Yes.
The Eagles, again, barring injury, are likely to win the division.
Or a weird collapse at the end of the year.
And you think the Steelers are picking top 2 in the draft?
And I think they need a quarterback.
Oh, wow. You know what, Frank? Unfortunately, Frank.
Oh, no. We suck again. Oh,
that's right.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's a good day. You know, they're going to go to Philly and they're going to hear, you know.
Just time after time after time after time.
Yeah, just not a good scenario for the Steelers. Well,
about 4 weeks in, they're going to be like, well, Tomlin, you know, what are we going to do? Because we got to get back to the playoffs. And he's going to go.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Kidding me?
Playoffs? Playoffs? Don't talk about.
I'll tell you what. I will say this, though. If the Steelers win 9 games or more, it will be Tomlin's greatest coaching job.
Yeah, and at that point, you have to give him the respect.
The back of that schedule, Mike, did you see the back of that schedule?
Yeah.
The back of their schedule.
You have 2 years ago, 3 years ago's AFC champion, last year's Super Bowl champion.
No, listen, I'm going to read off the teams to you. Listen to this. After the Commanders, which is no easy game.
No.
Right? Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. Ouch.
Yeah. They just so happen to be in that division.
Yeah. And I know that all those teams in the Central or the North, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays, they're all going to be playoff viable, fighting for playoffs.
I think technically that would probably be the best division in football right there.
It could be, yeah. Yeah, it definitely could be.
You have, I mean,
because your division has shitty Giants, my division has shitty Patriots, right? Mm-hmm. I got shitty Patriots. The AFC South has shitty everything. The NFC South has shitty everything except maybe Atlanta. The NFC West has Kansas City, and maybe if the Chargers are ahead of schedule, maybe. And the NFC West has the Chargers, and then maybe the Rams. You
The
know,
AFC West has
the
has the
so
Chargers.
so I don't think that. Yeah, I would say the AFC North is probably the most brutal division overall.
Probably the most brutal division. You got the Browns, the Ravens,
The Bengals and the
the
Steelers. Yep.
and then you have the Steelers as their stinky team.
And it's not like this. It's not like the Steelers stink. It's just I think the division is so bad, so good, that them not being as good is going to play against them. Like if they were in the NFC South or something, or even if they were in the NFC North,
They were in the NFC North. They might actually have a
they would
shot.
be able to hang with maybe Detroit and Green Bay or whatever over there.
Yeah.
I just don't see it for them. So Frank, unfortunately, you know, we think you're going to get this.
No! We suck again.
Yeah, we think you're going to get that. And we think our team's going to play each other in the Super Bowl. And we've been
Sorry.
wrong before.
We miss you and everything, but
We've been wrong before, but
yeah, you're not as wrong, not as much as you.
not as wrong as Frank. All right, Mike, I guess we'll start to wrap it up now.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a good show. You and me, we haven't done a show just you and me since episode 1, which I think was terrible. So this is probably our best solo episode together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we tried this time.
yeah, we actually tried and we had a clue what we were doing this time, so it made it a little bit different.
We got
But,
both got the soundboard going too.
That's right. And
So
next
I can,
week,
do this, come October.
it is the worst song ever. The worst fucking song ever. Nothing worse. But right after we hear your stupid Philly song, you're gonna have to hear this.
Ah, here he goes.
That's right, baby. It's
And
coming.
then, and because he handles the production, they don't have the Flyers fight goal song on here because he
I
handles.
wonder why. Yeah. I wonder why.
Joe.
Yeah.
Half my city's cut off on the bottom.
Don't worry about
fucking
your
HR.
city. Well, your city's really half the city anyway, so it don't really matter. I mean, jeez.
Wow.
All right, Mike. Well, I want to remind everybody to like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Check us out. Say what's up. Listen,
Yeah.
if you don't like what we say, contest it. Maybe we'll get you on the show.
Yeah. Why don't we start inviting people to
They give me a reason to
you
invite them,
think
Mike.
you got
Let
a
me
better
see.
idea?
Yeah, if you think you know more than us, let us know, and we'll get you a guest spot. You can come
Right.
jump on with us, and you can battle out with me, Mikey, and Frankie Ravioli.
Yeah, there's another spot in the bottom corner for
Yeah, we got room. We got room to add more for. We can add up to 10 people on this, John. What are you kidding me? Yeah,
10 people. Oh, that was just fucking
Yeah.
nightmare.
yeah, it'd be like a nightmare. What are you kidding? I'm not adding 10 people. What are you on crack? There's no way I'd do that.
5-on-5 Philly.
Oh my God, Jesus! It would turn into a parking lot fight, basically. Is what
Yeah,
it would
really.
be. Yeah,
Live and
throwing-
direct. Here's all 10 of them.
yeah. Start throwing the beer through the screen and shit. Jeez, the hell we doing? But like and subscribe. And this has been episode 16. It was brought to you by Easy Moving. Moving is hard. Do it the easy way. Servicing Fairfield, Connecticut. Removal in New York. And signing off, I am Turk. That is Mike. And we are out of here. We will see you next week.
Philly,
Peace.
congratulations on not getting no hit today.
Yeah, no hit. Yeah, that's good. Have a good time. Yeah.